how every one of us today can be able to make thousands of dollars online through funneling valuable traffic that we can generate, through sharing value. All the stuff you talked about, the payment gateway, creating the store, it can be done here in a minute. Hello, everybody. Look, today is going to be the day that you start 2025 on a way where you actually make it your best year ever. My goal from this session is that each one of you guys gets the lessons needed to really turn their creative passions into business. You guys are going to learn the tricks and tips that we've proven from data perspectives on what really helps creators make money. And you will see examples of creators with under 100,000 followers who are making six-figure careers. I'm going to give you guys a quick session, and then we can leave some Q&A at the end. A bit about myself. I'm Mohammad Fattal, the founder and CEO of Alfan. Thank you. So this is a QR code for our app. You guys will get a chance to sign up at the end. But let's just jump right into it. Today's discussion is going to be focused on how creators can make money through their audience. What do I mean by that? At the end of the day, we all know that you can make money on YouTube. You know you can make money on Snapchat. You know that creators make money through brands. But the issue is, to really succeed on platforms, 1 million views will get you $1,000. That's great for a lot of people, but that's really good only for the 1%. You can get brand deals, but we also know that it's only possible if a brand discovers you. And the reality is, the Cristianos and Kim Kardashians are the ones that are getting 90% of the budgets. This leaves a lot of opportunities out for creators who are creating valuable content. If you think about it, if you get 100,000 views on your content, do you know how big football stadiums are? Their capacity is having 50,000 people. What that means is when you get 100,000 views on social, today it's an underpriced market. You will barely get any money for that with the current tools. But that should generate you a lot of money because the amount of people pay, or the amount of money people pay to watch games, or the amount of platforms paid to license content just for 1 million viewers is insane. And I'm going to show you guys how you can benefit from that revenue. So we're going to be focused on the fans side. And the thing is with fans, it means you have full control to create amazing content whenever you want. A bit about me and my story. I used to make faceless content back in 2008. These videos were a compilation of funny clips. They'd get millions of views, but $0. I understood that, and I was like, you know what? People still want to get views. Let me help manage their social channels. I started managing YouTube channels. One of the artists I worked with, he got 1 million views on a song. You know how much money he made in 2012? $10. That has changed, but it still hasn't changed much. Artists pay so much money to create a piece of music video, pay $5,000 or $10,000. You know how many views they need to break even? 10 million views. You think that's possible for a lot of people? It's not. And it's not fair that 10 million views can only cover your cost of your song. And when I realized that the biggest challenge that creators face today was revenue. And that's why we founded Alfan. But in the early days, there weren't a lot of small creators. It was very hard to create content. So we worked with the top creators on YouTube, did very well, and we helped a lot of creators that were making $20,000 a year start making 7 figures. Insane, right? But it's insane only for the few hundred creators that got to benefit from that. Why? Because the tools weren't there. And we worked with the top brands to connect with those top creators. And what we found out was that if I wanted a brand to work with 1,000 creators with 10,000 followers, it is a very difficult process that is not worth the time and the margin that we used to get. But the good news is we helped 1,000 creators make $100 million. An amazing number, but that's only for 1,000 creators. And we are on a mission to help 1 million creators really change their lives. But more on that later. I want to just break down to you, right? The first step is to make $10,000 a month off being a creator. But I want to break down for you guys, what does $10,000 look like? Very simple. $10,000 is selling 10 things 1,000 times. That means per month, every 3 days, you got to figure out what service or product you can sell for that price. The second way is to sell 100 things for $100. That means every day you got to sell 3 things. Smaller, but to put it into perspective. Or sell something that's cheap at $10, but you got to be selling it to 33 people a day. So that is broken down in theory, and I will show you the actual results on how to get to that, and what kind of things can you sell to really get you that revenue. The thing you guys need to understand that creators have an unfair advantage. Brands dream of that traffic. If you think of it today, if everything you post gets you 10,000 impressions on your story, I know it seems like a small number because we're used to seeing creators get millions of views. But again, think of those 10,000 people that are watching what you're saying for a minute. It's a very powerful reach. And brands today are actually trying to become creators because they realize the advantage that you guys have. So how does this work? Let's say you create a piece of content. That piece of content gets you 10,000 views. Those views, what happens to them today with all of your socials, they see the video. They're like, wow, that's a very interesting video that you made. Who made it? They go to your profile. The only real action they can take now is follow you. And you're hoping that by increasing these followers, you get a brand that will spend with you. But the reality is, there's a lot more that you can do. The way you got to think about it is that the attention that you're generating through the content that you create can be directed to monetize. And that attention is not done through one platform. If you produced one piece of content, you upload that content in the different formats across all those platforms, and you funnel that traffic into one destination or a creator store. Just think of the size. Every time you get 10,000 views, from those 10,000 views, 250 people might go to your creator store. Now think of those 250 people, how many might purchase something, right? And again, I'm not just here to talk about courses. We know how that works, but I will show you the different methods that come up with it. Now, there are two types of creators, and I'm interested here to see how you guys, base yourselves. There's the expert creator. You're more niche focused. You're more educational. You're helping a few segments. You could be the accountant that's sharing tax advice. You can be the dietitian that is sharing nutrition facts. How many of you guys consider yourselves as the expert creator? Okay, a small few. The second segment is the lifestyle creator. Here, you're going for the mass reach, building a larger audience. That larger audience, it's more of a fishnet approach. You create a lot of content, and the way you normally monetize is through brand integrations or brand partnerships, or views on your YouTube content. These are the travel vloggers, the food creators, the fashion lifestyle creators, the people who document their life in general. Now, these are the two types of formats. There's a beautiful combination, but what really can help you right now is by niching down and focusing down. For example, I have 30,000 followers on social, and the content I create targets two main consumers, targets creators on how they can grow, and that benefits by getting thousands of signups on our platform per month. And the second segment is educating brands on how they can work with creators. And because of that, we have brands that spend 7 figures that have discovered us through our social team and through my content, instead of having a sales team. So I've been able to monetize a small reach into the 7-figure mark. So some of you guys might be considering to create content or don't know what kind of content to create. Well, I'll put it in a very simple way for you guys. If you think about why will people buy or follow you, there's an exchange of value. What does that mean? They're not going to follow you if they're not getting any value from you. And value comes in very different ways. One of the values is that you can just make them laugh. You're like, you know what? My day is not always amazing. I want to consume some content. This person makes me laugh. They're going to follow you. The second thing is you give them value. You educate them. You support them. So it's like, you know what? Every now and then I get insights. I want to follow this person. The third segment is you inspire them to build, to grow, to lose weight, to succeed. And the fourth is they discover things through you. Like all these food TikTokers or travel creators. You discover the world through them. You book destinations. You find all different restaurants to kind of go to. If there is no exchange of value that you're providing the creators, you will not grow and you will not make money. So if you look back at the content you create, think of what is the value I'm giving the person here. It's not about just fulfilling our egos, right? It's about providing value to these consumers or fans or followers that will get them to click the follow button. For example, if my life was just about showing cars or these kind of things, yeah, people who love cars, are inspired by cars, will follow me. So think about who the segment is that consumes your content and create that content for them to follow you and engage, and make sure there is an exchange of value that you're providing to them. And the beautiful thing about social is that exchange of value can develop at scale. Now, what is that content that you create? Each one of you here today has a potential to become a creator. Creating content has become easier than ever. The days when we help these 1,000 creators make $100 million, they had to produce professional YouTube content. But today, with tools like CapCut, AI editing softwares, I can literally just put my phone here on a tripod, record something, cut it up into 10 clips, and I got 10 videos, right? And we're in an age that it's easier to create content. But you need to understand what content to create. If you think between your family and friends, what are the things they ask you for advice about all the time? That is something else. If you're hanging out with your friends, what are the things that you love to talk about all the time? This is the easiest pillar of content that you can create because here, there's an exchange of value. You can be consistent because if you're doing something that is not yourself, then everything I'm talking about is not going to be worthwhile. So think of that exchange of value that you can provide, but something that resonates with your identity. Because I've been in this space for over 10 years, I love talking about the creator space. Because I've seen the lives of creators we've touched going from making $20,000 a year to $1 million, seeing those moments, I'd love to share those moments because we benefited from them and a lot of them benefited. And being able to share that with the world is something I enjoy. So that's why it's an easy pillar for me to create content about. But if it's something I didn't enjoy, like if you tell me about eating vegetables, I probably create one video and I'll stop there. So think of something that is consistent for you and matches your identity. Now, here's something that's very important that people don't realize. And honestly, this is the honest truth. How rich your audience is dictates how much money you make. What do I mean by that? If you're targeting investment bankers or lawyers with educational content in their space or tools that they can use or how to become a better lawyer, these guys are making a good amount of money. So whatever you sell, create, or the brands that want to associate and work with you, they will basically want to work with you even if you get 1,000 views. Because if you think about it, if I create content that's consumed by 1,000 CEOs, I don't need 10,000 followers or 100K followers. If I just have 1,000 CEOs, and Huawei decides to come to me and be like, hey, Mohammed, here's a laptop. I want you to highlight the benefits of this product and share that on LinkedIn with the other 1,000 CEOs. If one of them has 100 employees and they buy those computers for their team, guess what happened here? They just bought 100 computers at $2,000 a piece. That is $200 or $2 million, right? My CFO is right here. But it's a big number. And it's a shameless plug for Huawei since they're a brand partner of ours. So if you create kids content or you're targeting people without purchase power or people who might be in not as high GDP regions, you will make less revenue. So you got to know internally what you want to create and who you want to target. And make sure you know who that person is so you can create your content directed to them. Now, what are the ways you can make money? This is the part that we're waiting for. And I know I'm talking here about my platform, but it doesn't have to be on Alfan. It could be anywhere. But we just make it easy for creators. The 4 things that I'm going to go through with today are services that you can provide that can get you that exchange of value and revenue, exclusive content that you can create, a collection of products that you can share with your fans, and coupon deals. And that's something that you probably see a lot of big creators share, and I'll tell you the secret of why they share them. So what are services? Basically today, I am an accountant. Let's pretend that I create content for business people. What did I do here? I'm targeting a small group of people, but that small group of people require that and are willing to pay for it. Why? Because if they had a tax penalty, the fines can be in the 6-figure amounts. So imagine I create that, and I create content related to it. Someone might discover me on social, see my link in bio, and see that I have a call related to book an audit call to review your financials and make sure that you're tax compliant. Someone might pay you $500 for that. There's a creator in Canada with under 10,000 followers, charges $500 an hour for consultation related to taxes, and if 10 people are booking a call with him a month, that is $5,000, right? The power of money and the audience that you have can show you those results. Now, what kind of services can you do? Sleep Cuddles and Rowan. They're 2 female creators that live in Jordan that target people in Jordan who normally make between $1K to $3K a month. That is the average kind of salaries in Jordan. They sell 2 unique things and they're very niche down and focused. If you're having a hard time to put your kid to sleep, they're like, book a call with me. I'm an experienced mother. I have multiple kids. I'll teach you how to do that. The second thing they do is they have PDF guides, or we call them digital products. They have a digital product for $15. If a baby has a pacifier in their mouth, here's a PDF guide that will help you remove that. Yes, this content is online, but because they create content, they get around 200 likes a post, which is a very small amount that brands would not associate with. Their fans come to their Alfan profile, click on the guide, and end up buying it from them. Imagine selling a guide for $20. You sell 100 of them, $20,000. We have Ilaf, who's a social media expert. Basically, you're struggling with your Instagram account. You can send her your link. She'll send you an audit report. Mutajir Atiq. He's a Saudi creator with 4,000 followers, but he shares poems on social. So if you want to send a love message to somebody, you tell him what you want, and he'll customize a very romantic message. He's selling a message for $15, right? The things you can sell with services online are insane, and a creator that has 4,000 followers is making over 5 figures a year. And you can do all types of services, right? I can be a freelance photographer, videographer. Make it easy for someone to come purchase from you. Let me take you through an experience. You probably saw somebody on LinkedIn share an amazing piece of content. You're like, wow, I would love to connect with them and get their advice. Next step, you go to LinkedIn, you have to DM them. You're like, they're probably not gonna see it. That person just missed a transaction. But imagine they had a call to action where someone can come on their link in bio and automatically book a session. I was surprised when we launched this early on, and I had someone book 4 hours for $500 to speak to me about the creator economy. The easiest money I ever made. This is services. The second thing I was mentioning is exclusive content and digital products. Today, people think about creating courses, and we see a lot of these course websites. But what we also see behind it is the amount of huge and significant effort that people do to create a course that has a huge, 10 videos, and like you have to go full-fledged. Imagine there's an insight that you want to share. That insight is 5 minutes long. I can shoot a vertical video, I can explain that insight, and put a price tag of $10 to $20. As you create content, people might be interested in that. Let's say I'm a fishing expert and I will teach you how to catch fish every single time. I'll just do a 5-minute video showing you how I hook the worm, how I do all of that stuff. Have it on your Alfan account. And if you're a fishing creator, people will buy that from you, $10, $20. Very simple courses. Or digital products. This creator called Tiny Tummies, again, from Jordan, selling nutrition guides of foods that you can feed to your baby for $15. A lot of people who consume her page that shows food recipes for kids, when they open it, it's like, oh, you know what, for $15, I trust this creator, they have 40,000 followers in this niche, I can buy that. Now, this creator is doing a big mistake because they're only selling one thing, but they're making thousands of dollars a month selling a PDF guide explaining to people food recipes to feed to kids. The experience of exclusive content is insane, and don't think of it as a full-fledged course on how to become a creator and make $1 million. Think of the bite-sized courses, because within our data, that is the thing that sells the most. If you're going to try sell me a course for $1,000 for people to buy, it might take a lot, but here you get a lot of micro-sized transactions. The second thing, and this is something I'm very excited about. Today, between our friends and our family, when they see you wearing a certain outfit, or they see your skin glowing, they're like, what skincare do you use? You send them a link. Where'd you buy your shoes from? Oh, I got it from this website, right? As humans, we get inspired by each other's outfits. But at the same time, as humans, the way we shop today, and if you talk to anybody in retail, somebody will come to the store, show them an item, be like, hey, do you guys have this in stock? Imagine there was a way to click and to shop that item. Now, if you think about a lot of creators, why are they followed? They are followed because of their lifestyle. Imagine as you share your lifestyle, you can share examples of those items and get transacted for a link. And there are 2 simple ways you can do that. Let's say somebody likes my suit, and I bought it from Brooks Brothers. What's going to happen now is that people are going to go and have to go to the mall and to go and find it. Imagine I just shared a link. They should have paid me for this plug, but imagine I just shared a link, and 10 people bought. Now, let's say this suit is $1,000. 10 people bought it from me because I have a small audience and it's not big enough. $1,000 suit at 10%, 10 people buying. I just got $1,000. And what did I get $1,000 for? I got $1,000 for a product that I use, I trust, and I love. And that is the beautiful thing about the internet today, because if you look at the things that actually sell and the brands that are actually succeeding are the organic products. And imagine the pair of shoes that you love and wear. If you were to get paid for every time someone bought it because you recommended it, or the sunglasses that you got, that is the beautiful thing about collections. And what we have is a way for you to come and create collections. You put it in your link in bio, someone can see the product, they can click on your collections, click on the product, it will take them to that page. It should have been loading as a video, but you see here on the example, you can put the skincare that you use. And if your skin is glowing, and people see that on social, every time they click and they buy whatever they buy during that experience, you are getting at least 5 to 10% commission. And Guys, I'm married, I see my wife's skincare. Some items cost hundreds of dollars. So 10% on each one of those items is a crazy amount of money. The second thing is, when people are buying items online, a lot of times I look for discount codes, or everybody looks for discount codes. But what ends up happening is creators share these discount codes and they put them on social. What ends up happening here? They forget what that code is when they actually go and buy the product. And we make it simple for you on the deals page to just click, keep those discount codes from the brands or products that you love. For example, I love Irello. It's an eSIM. Whenever I travel, instead of getting a SIM card, I just use it. Now what happens here, every time somebody they see that I'm someone who travels a lot, they respect that I'm not going to be selling anything that's random, and because of that, they can buy that SIM card through my link and download the app. Now what happens here, this is passive income. You create amazing content, people want to discover more about you, they come to your link in bio, and they see all the beautiful things that you're trying to promote. And the beautiful thing about this is whenever you want, and you don't have a brand deal, and you're traveling, you can organically create a link that targets those items. And that will get you more revenue that you weren't getting before. So let's break it down. I want to really go into the numbers game from the data that we have. Imagine you have 100,000 followers, and I'm going to come to 1,000 followers shortly because that is a very interesting mark. Imagine you have 100,000 followers, all right? I'm not saying post every day, I'm not saying post 3 times a day, I'm just saying post 15 times a month. Every 2 days you make a video, right? And we know how easy it is to create videos. It means that you might get 500,000 views, right? One video goes viral from them, you got that 500,000 views. From that 500,000 viewers, 2.5% will more likely visit your Alfan profile. What ends up happening here is that it's 12,500 visitors. Now let me show you examples of creators who got 12,000 visitors on their Alfan profile. On the top one, this creator got 20,000 visitors on their Alfan profile. They had 10,000 creators go somewhere, and because of that, 463 creators bought something, and they made almost $15,000. This is not waiting for a brand to reach out to you to make 15K. This is not waiting for YouTube for your video to get 1 million views. I'm literally showing you 20,000 viewers or 20,000 people clicking on your page can make you almost $20,000. The bottom example, 15,000 visitors, a higher priced item, so 272 things got them 20K. On 15,000 people, they can make $20,000. What that means is that if you can drive value and traffic into people discovering who you are, this has the potential to make you $10,000 plus. Now the math here is a bit simple and a bit complicated, but from people who view your videos to people clicking to discover you, it's around 2.5%. And from those 2.5% that discover you, 2.5% will buy something. So it is a small number, but if you think about it, the power of small numbers can make you income that top creators dream of. And imagine this, the bigger the audience, the bigger the reach, the more money this will make you. Here are just examples of 15,000 visitors. Imagine if your creator job is a side hustle, and if you can just get 15,000 visitors to your Alfan profile in a year, and that can make you 20K, just think of the increase in your job salary that this will make you. And on average, it was $75 a transaction. Now let's break it down. What if you only get 1,000 visitors? Hey man, I can't get 20,000. On 1,000 visitors, if 2% will buy, for the average checkout value of $75, that is 1.5K. If 5,000 visit your store and 2% will buy, that's an average of 100 people, that is 7.5K, right? These numbers are real. These numbers work if you have a Shopify store, you have an Alfan profile, you have any place that is funneling that traffic into a transaction. Or if you want to be like like Logan Paul and KSI launching Prime, you funnel that traffic into one product and it can make you that. But today we're not talking about the celebrity levels. We're talking about how every one of us today can be able to make thousands of dollars online through funneling valuable traffic that we can generate through sharing value, right? I keep on insisting about value because if you're just going to create a dancing video on TikTok, if we think about the exchange of value here, what is it? Let's not comment about it. But at the end of the day, you can't really sell something with that. But if there is value in terms of your lifestyle, your fashion choices, your skincare routine, how good you are as a chef, each one of us today has a value that our family and friends associate to. Commercializing that value can have a lot of potential. Don't get me wrong, a lot of my friends wanted to invest in stocks. There's a few apps that I trust. I made hundreds of dollars just referring them into the coupons and the links of those platforms. If I can do that on a small group of people, imagine the scale of what you can do that on thousands of people. I'm not talking millions, I'm talking thousands. Let's take a live example of a sale. You guys are consuming content from me today. Some of you, from let's say 100 people, only 2.5%. So I'm saying maybe 3-4 people were interested in something that I was talking about. You come to my account, you can book a call with me. One person buys, because I have a higher ticket items, I could have just made $500, right? Or it might not be interested in buying a service from me. You might be saying it like, hey, I'm not wearing the shoes today, but imagine I was wearing these on-cloud shoes that I wear to the gym. And somebody's like, oh, those shoes look pretty cool. I've seen him wear it in his videos. He wins that paddle against his team all the time. Shameless plug. People buy that shoe through me. I just got 10% on 83 dirhams. I just made $23. And it's a product I love and I trust. The second thing is, my family, friends, or people who consume my content know that I'm associated to these websites. They click on 6th Street, they use my coupon code, they buy something, they bought something for $100, I get 10%, they get a 10% discount. On average, people buy $80 when it comes to these e-commerce websites, so at 10% will make you $8 every time, but it will also save your fans and followers $8 as well. Now, I want to leave 15 minutes for a Q&A session because I really want to digest business models or accounts that you guys have and you create with. But the whole idea here is today is that creating content is hard, connecting to brands is hard, building businesses is hard, but there is a simple rhythm to this. And that is what we're trying to do here at the end of the day. Because if you think about every person who does any business today, you have to double down on your core competency. Now, what is that core competency? For a creator, you should be thinking about how can I create a piece of content that will translate in value to my viewers. Could be travel, but value of destinations and experience. Like I mentioned before, value can be comedy, it can be anything. If you think about that and you look at that, then that's what you should be focused every single day. Now, you can get people to post that content for you. Now, you can have people who edit that content for you, but your job is to focus on creating amazing content. The second part is if you can monetize that traffic that you will generate, that is where you can start to make 6 figures in income. If you're just able to get 1,000 people to visit your store, that will get you all of that traffic. And the examples are a lot. We've seen mothers selling PDF guides. We've seen travel influencers selling links, Google Map destinations to the restaurants they love in a certain city. Right? That's an exchange of value. If someone is traveling to Dubai and they're here for the 1 billion follower summit, they're wondering what restaurants can I go to? Now imagine a food creator had a link, Google Maps, featuring restaurants that they want to go to, and they're just charging $5. You're like, man, of course I trust this creator. I see all their food choices all the time. I'm going to trust their judgment. So think of that exchange of value that you're able to provide. Figure out how to commercialize it, not on selling a $1,000 course, but on meaningful size bites things that people can come in with a simple click and an Apple Pay or a Google Pay, depending what phone you use, can result in a transaction. And of course, continue thinking about the content you create, doubling down on it. The more views and reach, this data that you build here can be sold to brands to have more trust to collaborate with you. And what's happening with influencer marketing brands today? If you look at what brands spend on influencers, it is under 2%. Why? Because brands have a hard time knowing, before I work with you as a creator, if you're actually going to convert or sell for me. Imagine proving the data of the traffic you can drive off platform, giving it to a brand where they're going to be more comfortable. Or you know what? You might say, hey guys, I don't want to work with brands. You want to work with me? Now I'm going to pick the brands I work with because I have the luxury to associate myself to brands that I truly love and believe in. And because if you sell something you don't believe or love to your audience and fans, those loyal people that I'm talking about, you're going to lose them. So double down on creating amazing content. Make sure you post that content to all your platforms and funnel that traffic to a destination. Could be an Alfan store, could be a Shopify, could be any amazing destination, and really double down and monetize as your audience. And as I showed you guys, 1,000 visitors can make you $1,500. Imagine what 10,000 can do. Imagine what 100,000 can do. And hopefully one day you guys will get to the millions. And just imagine what the millions can do. Thank you guys very much. I'll open it to a Q&A session. to go through real examples of things that you guys are doing, and we'll help as a, all together to come up with solutions on how to better monetize your traffic.
I actually have this question regarding, I actually have a product, like multiple products that I want to sell. Like, I do understand the coaching thing could work, but I do have physical products as well that I want to sell. And I want to collaborate with these influencers to sell it for me. Now, I have a lot of clients and brands too. However, the problem that I've faced so far, perhaps it's my mistake, and the clients that I work with, their mistake, we're not able to sell the products. So how can we close that gap?
So there's two elements. Again, the exchange of value between you and the creator. When I show people On Cloud shoes, or when I show people brands from Sephora, you're more likely to get those brands because you know that you love this product and you use it. So first, if the creator believes in your product, it will be easy for them to use it. So get their feedback, understand what they love about it, what they don't love about it, maybe the cost is, and then you'll be able to convince them. But if there's a lot of replicas to it that doesn't work well, then maybe you have to build a brand name. Like let's look at Gymshark or On Cloud Shoes. Again, one of those brands, they had to enter the shoe market, which had major competitors in the billions of dollars. They found one exchange of value where they say this shoe is more comfortable and it's better for runners. People started using them and promoting them. When it first came out, I had one of my friends wearing them. He was talking about it to all his friends. And he's like, guys, I discovered this new brand, it's gonna kill it. So I think with those brands, there has to be an exchange of value. Either you pay them a lot because you haven't built that yet, or the more successful for the brand, the people will actually do it for you for free. Like if Emirates was to come to me today and they're like, hey, like promote flying on Emirates. Of course, it's an amazing airline, right? The exchange of value is already there. So I think you just have to prove that part.
Mohamad, thank you first for the whole session. It was amazing. My question is, what comes first? To invest in content creation or to invest in your product or your service you're gonna provide? For example, if you are making a course, you need to build this course, you need to have a website for it, you need to have a payment gateway. After making that, you need to make content to promote it. Let's say, for example, if you have around $4K. So how do you invest it first? You will make content and you will make your pages first and then...
Very good question. All the stuff you talked about, the payment gateway, creating the store, it can be done here in a minute, right? And this app can show you your followers and a lot of data. It's not about selling you the thing. You have to focus on creating content. Let's say you had 100 cousins, right? You have a WhatsApp group that can reach out to these 100 people. You have 100 people that consumes your content now. And this is something that's common in the Middle East, right? But if you don't have anyone to sell to, then no one's gonna buy. And to be honest, I found that selling to people who come to you to buy is higher conversion than outbound. For example, you guys get probably emails all the time, use this software, sign up here, sign up here. It's very different when you by yourself go to a random video and see something and you believe in, you will purchase. So I would invest in creating content that drives value to those viewers and set up something that costs you nothing and test it out. Because what people do, and the biggest mistake, is they take this $4,000 and the first thing they focus on is a high-end production. And then they put it out here, but they haven't even created content here. You need to see if people are going to consume your content. If you're able to get a few viewers, then yes, come here. But the nice thing is with our platform, in a minute, you can have a store up and running. It's not about having to build a whole Shopify and build a whole website. I hope that kind of clarified. Any other questions? Yes, Zen.
How do you break down the difficulties of selling a course versus doing bite-sized stuff? Like, how do you take the model that's hard to sell?
How do you break down having to sell a course, which would be a lot harder, breaking it down into smaller chunks that would make it easier for people to consume?
If you think today, if I see something in front of me for $1, I'll probably buy it without thinking. Depending on the segment, if it's $10, it might be even easier. Hopefully we all become very wealthy some days, but then it's like tens of thousands of dollars become easier. So you need to think about the segment that you're targeting and see what their easy purchase power is. Like if I see it, I'll just do Apple Pay right away without having to think about it twice. If you can have an exchange of value, like let's say you're doing a course about learning a language, and it could have 10 segments. Instead of selling the whole thing for $500, imagine you have the easiest way to start learning a new language. Like, what are the 1, 2, 3s that I have to do before I start to learn? I might buy that for $10 before jumping deep. You can have a more expensive course, but have a free or a cheaper sample in the beginning. And the nice thing is, if something doesn't make me feel that I have to invest a lot, I'm more likely to jump into it. There's a lot of these websites that spend so much on ads to get you to come to them because they know at the end of the day, if I get 1 million people to come and I'm spending $100 to acquire a customer, as long as I'm selling the course for $200, I'm good. But the more bite-sized that you make it, your organic content will end up converting.
People are telling me that you need more money to earn more money. Now, I'm thinking, where does that leave people who don't have enough? What's your advice?
Do you have a phone with a good camera? Do you have good Wi-Fi? You don't need any money. Create content that can generate value with an experience that you have or something that you like to talk about, and just figure that those people that consume that content, what will they buy? You can easily partner up with those brands and the things that you were going to buy anyways. Share that. You don't need money. Like, these platforms are free. If someone's going to sell you a course for thousands of dollars, there are exchanges of value, but they have to prove their track record. You don't need money. You don't need an expensive laptop. Everything can be done from your phone. AI and a lot of free tools are there. You're stuck on what you can create. Talk to ChatGPT. It can help you to understand what you can create. The money thing is not true. It is true in some segments, but I have seen a lot of creators that were broke, that had no money, really change their lives through content creation. The beautiful thing about creating content is that one medium that people will consume you from around the world. And all it takes is one video to go viral that will actually change your life. So don't worry about having to spend money. Just focus on creating content with a proper hook, then exchange of value. Good luck. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.